Boys, Luka is finally here, and that boy looks crazy. So, HoYoverse today posted all the skills and traces for Luka, not his actual scalings as far as numbers goes, but the actual abilities and what they're going to do, and on top of that, the traces, or the big traces, I should say, for his whole kit. So, we're going to be taking a look at that today, and from looking at it already, he just looks absolutely cracked. He looks really good. So, guys, let's go ahead and talk about what he actually does. He's a physical type character. He causes bleed on the enemy. He has enhanced basic attacks, and he gets these things in his kit called Fighting Will, which we'll talk about in a second. Basically, these are used to enhance his basic attack. It's kind of like how Fire MC works. After they get hit a certain amount of times, then they have an enhanced basic attack. It works similar to that. So let's go ahead and talk about his traces now, the meat and potatoes here, in my opinion. Traces. Kinetic Overload. When the skill is used, immediately dispels some buffs from the enemy target. This is huge. There are only, Locha and Payload that do this in the game right now. You can, of course, get the Battle Pass Light Cone, but that's trash, and we all know that. Anyways, there are only 2 other characters in the game that remove buffs from enemies. This can be really strong on a multitude of enemies. Are you pissed off and mad that the monkey keeps getting all these attack buffs and one-shotting you? Well, no need to fear. Luka has you covered. He'll remove those buffs for you. Oh, are the monsters from the Lawfu reviving every time you try to kill them? No need to fear. Luka's got you. He'll make sure they die in one shot for you. Holy guacamole, the guy that sucks in his allies after he puts them out in the field that you need AoE for. Whoa, he is a big boy buff now. Well, let's go ahead and hit him with Luka and take away that attack buff that he just got. Yes. This is really strong, guys. This will help out a lot, I think, especially for the Kafka teams. This is just really strong. Not many characters in the game have it, so it's nice seeing another 4-star in the game with this skill, rather than having to go for a 5-star Locha or a paid-for Battle Pass Light Cone. But yeah, this is just really good. Let's talk about his number 2 trace now, which is Cycle Breaking. Is going to give him energy every time he gets a stack of Fighting Will on him. So yeah, this is just pretty strong. We don't know like the actual number of how much energy regen we're getting, but energy regen is always nice in a kit, and you'll basically be getting your Fighting Will every time you use a skill attack or an ultimate attack. So this is just really good for him all around. And then finally, Crush Fighting Will. When using an enhanced basic attack, every hit of the direct punch has a chance for Luka to do 1 additional hit. This effect does not apply to any additional hits generated this way. Now, this one is also really strong. This is basically going to double his damage output whenever using the enhanced basic attack, right? So a basic breakdown of what the enhanced basic attack does before we actually talk about his skills is whenever you have enough chance to Fighting Will, he hits the enemy 3 times and then does a rising uppercut. Yes, Doomfist, I know. Doomfist is in Honkai style role. Anyways, he'll now be doing 6 hits because each one of those counts for a hit, and your rising uppercut counts for a hit too. So wait, yeah, realistically double the hits. My math is off. Anyways, yeah, you get the point though. He does an extra hit every time he does a hit, excluding the hits he does from this talent. Scrolling down here now, his technique, you won't use it. It's just really not that good. It hits 1 random enemy and gives you a stack of Fighting Will, but that's really it. Not really that good. Don't really need to talk about it. His basic attack does physical damage to a single target. Don't really care about this. What we care about is this right here, the enhanced basic attack. This is going to consume 2 stacks of Fighting Will. He uses his direct punch and deals 3 hits, with each hit dealing physical damage to a single enemy target, then uses Rising Uppercut to deal 1 hit dealing physical damage to a single enemy. So you know he does bang, 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 and then whomp, just like Doomfist and Overwatch, if you play that. Anyways, that's cringe. Down to the talent now, guys. The talent is also really nice too. This is basically how his whole shebang gets going. After Luka uses his basic attack, direct punch, or skill Lacerating Fist, he receives Fighting Will up to 4 stacks. When he has 2 or more stacks of Fighting Will, his basic attack, direct punch, is enhanced to Sky Shattering Fist. And Sky Shattering Fist contains 3 hits of direct punch and 1 hit of Rising Uppercut. After Rising Uppercut hits a bleeding enemy target, the bleed status will immediately deal damage for 1 time equal to a certain percentage of his original damage to that target. At the start of battle, Luka will possess 1 stack of Fighting Will. So that means off rip, immediately, you can either just use a skill and get more stacks of Fighting Will up, or you can use a basic attack and then go ahead and have the enhanced basic attack for the next turn. This is just really good, guys. And keep in mind, this is also going to be proccing off any extra bleed that's on the enemy. So it might be beneficial just to use the skill offer up to make the enemy go ahead and bleed, because he basically works like Kafka but with just bleed effects. So this is just really good. Talking about a skill now, what this is going to do is he's going to be dealing damage to a single target. He's going to be inflicting them with bleed, and while bleeding, the enemy will take a certain percentage of their max HP as physical dot at the start of each turn. This damage will not exceed more than a certain percentage of Luka's attack. Now this is really important to know the percentages of this, because This scales off of the opponent's max HP, but it also scales off of Luka's attack as well. Kind of hard to put that into words and explain that. So say they have 100,000 max HP and it takes 20% of the max HP, right? So that's 20,000 damage. And let's just say it takes 100% of Luka's attack, right? So that means your dot will probably be hitting around 3,000 damage. We'll have to wait and see what the actual percentage is in relation to his own attack, but this scaling off of max HP is actually really big, and I think it could be really useful. But like I said, it really depends on what that scaling looks like. And then finally, the ultimate Coup de Grace, Coup de Grace. I'm American, I don't know, I'm stupid, I don't know how to pronounce shit. Anyways, he receives a certain amount of fighting will stacks with a chance to cause the target enemy to receive increased damage for several turns. Luka will then deal physical damage to the enemy. This is going to make the enemy take more damage. He has a chance to put a debuff on the enemy that makes them take more damage. This is really cracked, and the reason why I think he's really OP, right guys? He has a lot of things in his kit that work with him, right? He has bleed that scales off of enemy max HP. Like I said though, that's really going to depend on the attack cap that you actually have on him. He has the Coup de Grace, his ultimate, which then in turn actually makes the enemy take more damage for all of your allies. So this actually I think is better than a defensive strike because you're just making the enemy take more overall damage, which is just really nice. And then finally on top of this, we're going to be able to remove buffs from enemies. I think he's probably going to be one of the best inhility characters in the game, honestly. I think this is really stacked. I think he's a really good character. I think if you're pulling for Kafka, this is absolutely amazing for really good kit. I can't wait to build him and use this in applications with Kafka and Kafka comps. Maybe run a little triple dot comp with Kafka. I don't know. Anyways, guys, that's really going to do it for today's video on Luka. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below of how you feel about Luka. And yeah, like I said, that's going to do it. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, see you in the next one later. Bye-bye.